Hi everyone, welcome back to Fonte Show. Myself, Faustina Anyango, and today I'm gonna be looking at Anthony Joshua's second loss to Usyk. Wow, what happened? First of all, I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look at the look at the general account of what happened using this time around. I'm going to be a bit academic. I'm going to be using Gibbs reflective model, for us to see what happened, analyze actually how Anthony Joshua lost, and as leaders or as business owners, as professionals, what can we learn from the entire scenario, from the entire situation with Anthony Joshua losing for the second time to Usyk? Well, for those of you who didn't watch it, I watched it because I am really invested. I'm a serious, serious fan of Anthony Joshua, and I've been following his boxing for since when he became or he came into the limelight, and you know win or lose, I'm a fan. So and of course, Anthony Joshua has a likability, personality. He's the poster boy for boxing in the UK, and of course, for this generation, he has changed the perception of boxing with his humane, gentlemanly approach without being too aggressive and all of that. So Anthony Joshua has won so many hearts and brought so many people into boxing, just like Serena Williams and so many other sports giants, Usain Bolt, and all of them who use their charisma or their own personality traits to make people to begin to like what they do, not just on the level of the sport, but on the level of their own personality. So now, what happened? Last night, Anthony Joshua had a rematch with Usyk, and Usyk, as you know, is from Ukraine, and of course, we know that Ukraine has been in a war with Russia in the past few months, and of course, we know how resilient we have seen. The world has seen how resilient the Ukrainians are, including Usyk himself, who had to go back into the war zone to fight and fight for his country. And that was why they had to postpone this rematch until now. So if we reflect back, or if you look back, you can see that the last time when they had the first match, there were lots and lots of support for Anthony Joshua, the celebrities, his friends, and the supporters, Mayweather. It just name who is who in boxing and sports were there, for Anthony Joshua. And I think it was also in Saudi Arabia, where the second rematch also was done last night. Now, before we go into the nitty gritty of pieces in what happened, now let's look at for me, before this match. In fact, when Anthony Joshua lost the first match to Usyk, my observation was that Anthony Joshua wasn't really you know up to the game with Usyk. Usyk really outmatched him, and I was a bit worried. I was like, I felt that I don't think Anthony Joshua is really ready to fight this type of fighter, and I didn't think. Also, I felt if he went for a rematch within the time they wanted to do it that time, I said categorically he wasn't going to win. He would lose. Even though I was hopeful, uh, I was still, I was still trying to be emotionally attached to the whole thing and using my heart to still root for Anthony Joshua, of course, hoping that, something could happen and he come out. But if you look at it objectively, you would know that for me, I felt that it's going to be a tough, an uphill task for Anthony Joshua to win this guy at the time. And then when the war started in Ukraine with Ukraine and Russia, and Usyk, we had the news that Usyk and all of others, Ukrainian celebrities and big names, we are all going back home to fight. I said, wow, Anthony Joshua has a tough nut to crack here. If this guy is going to face death, face to face, in fact, he declared himself dead by going to the war, not minding how much money or things that he had at stake or his life and everything, then Anthony Joshua has to be in a mindset that is beyond that. And that was a bit worrying for me. And I said, well, let's see how this goes. So and last night when they were coming out into the ring for the first time, well, not for the first time, but I think this will be the second time I've seen Anthony Joshua coming out as the underdog to to fight to get his belts. And last night when I was looking at Anthony Joshua, I saw somebody who was ready to win, who had prepared to win, who was coming out to win, who was hungry to to win. You could see a little bit of fear, but that fear wasn't overwhelming him. I didn't see an overwhelming fear on him. I saw a fear that was ready to give it all. And so when the fight started and everything, and Anthony Joshua, the very first round, second round, Anthony Joshua did pretty fairly good. He was agile. He was one of the things that stood out for me was how he was coming out to fight. He was quick on his feet to come out from the whenever there's a break, and he jumps out and he comes back, and they start the fight. And he put up a good fight the first 2-3 rounds. But in the middle, around between fourth till about seventh round, I wasn't quite sure what was happening. Anthony Joshua was missing so many of his, punches and all that. Even when he wanted to give an uppercut and all that, he kept missing this guy's face. There was a time, I thought, he has disorganized the Usyk defense, because Usyk is really very good at closing up his face and all that. But Anthony Joshua was still managing to try to penetrate from different angles and all that. And then Anthony Joshua, being who he is, he's not an angry fighter. He's not let me say, he's not a wicked fighter. Let me put it that way. He's not a wicked fighter. So when he gets opportunity to hit his opponent, he hits and he's watching to see. That's what I feel. That's what I see. I see him. He punches 2, 1, 2, and then he's trying to see if are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, bro, we are here to fight. You need to fight this. Well, you can't change a person from who he is. So Anthony Joshua, kept being mild with his approach. When he gets opportunity, he doesn't take advantage of that opportunity to finish up. And this guy was very strong. This guy he's very strong, very resilient, and very, very, very tactical with his aim was he made sure his face, he can't get there. But I was a bit worried also when Anthony Joshua, as he was trying to find angle, corner to get into and, finish off this guy, he kind of hit him, something almost borderline, what's it called? Borderline on the belt. And I was worried. I said, oh my God, I hope they're not going to disqualify Anthony Joshua, So that below the belt punch, it was just borderline. I'm not sure why, but thankfully he was not disqualified. Of course, he showed remorse almost immediately. You could see on his face that he didn't mean to go down that route, so he wasn't disqualified, and they continued. But now, when they got to, I think that was the ninth round, Anthony Joshua came out. I was like, yeah, you were screaming. I was screaming. I was screaming. I said, yeah, yeah, yeah. He kind of, disorganized this guy's defense and went in and was punching. As I said earlier, as Anthony Joshua being who he is, he's not punching to kill. He's punching to at least leave some life for his opponent, which most fighters does not have, that's not how it works. So Anthony Joshua kept on this guy, and was in fact he owned that round, that ninth round. And I thought he was going to come back on the 10th round with that same energy. But unfortunately, Anthony Joshua lost it in the 10th round. And this guy was just playing with his face. I was like, bro, what's going on? Come on, sit up, So at that point, I knew that there was no return, because for Anthony Joshua to win this guy, he needs to give him a knockout. There has to be a clear knockout. It's not going to be point by points. He's not going to make it by point and stuff like that. So that was what happened, and that was how I felt about the whole thing. Before, during, and even after, when Anthony Joshua was when he lost to Usyk, and he lost it himself. He lost himself. He lost his character. He lost his personality, and he did something we've never seen him do before. And I wasn't going to knock him as well, because I could see the adrenaline was too much, and the adrenaline, he would have built that adrenaline, and he's human, of course. He had to come he had to try to do not that he was trying to do anything. He lost it. Please give me the charger. Let me, my battery's going down. So that was what happened. And Anthony Joshua, the speech and everything that he made wasn't, it was cringy. Everybody were like, what's going on here, bro? Leave the spotlight for the winner. It's not for you anymore. But then that is also what happens when the adrenaline is so high, the expectations, the pressure, the frustration was too much on him. And yeah, I'm not endorsing that attitude, but then he's human, anything could happen. Well, what was good about this whole scenario? The whole thing was Anthony Joshua throughout the boxing, he maintained himself throughout the boxing round. He maintained his normal personality. But what was really not quite good for me was I couldn't see the hunger of wanting to win in his punches. He wasn't aggressive enough, and he wasn't taking advantage of the times that when he had upper hand, he wasn't taking advantage. He wasn't, hitting to finish. He could have seen this match from a different perspective, from how he has always, the other different people he has fought with. He's fought with this guy, and he has seen the mentality this guy has. And I don't think Anthony Joshua built his mentality to fit this guy that he was fighting as well. So that was the one of the difficult things, that challenges that Anthony Joshua didn't quite really grasp. And then him trying what he did at the end, making that speech and storming off and throwing this on the floor, those were things that could have been avoided if what I saw, or what I observed, was that I don't think Anthony Joshua's team were really fully supportive, or really within him and helping him to control the situation. I think he looks like he was left to dry. They just hung him up there. I didn't see it hands that much. Being participative in making sure that Anthony Joshua was in control of the situation. I didn't really see his input that much. Um, so that it wasn't really very good to see that. So that was the really bad aspect of the whole thing. Not even the losing itself. It was the reaction that Anthony Joshua showed, which wasn't character of his character that we've known. But that's what that's just what it is. So you can't change that. And then but looking at the whole situation again, what I could see there, as well is that, you know, like before the match, I had a 4 point view that made me to, believe or think that it's going to be a really hard nut for Anthony Joshua to crack. One, this guy Usyk has all the belts. He had the three belts. Anthony Joshua is already, in the um, defensive. Will I put? He said, is it defensive? He is in the position to trying to win back his. So the pressure is on him more. Two, he needed to redeem himself. So the pressure was on him. Two, this guy has seen death face to face. And therefore, Anthony Joshua had to match the mindset. That was two. Three, he has the empathy. Because of the war, the situation in his country, there's more empathy towards him than Anthony Joshua. So Anthony Joshua really needs to knock him down clearly that everybody can see that he has won for him to win. And of course, even in boxing, if you're going to fight the champion, you have to show that you have won the champion. It's not going to be something that'll be debatable. And then the fourth point, I think, was what was my fourth point again? Um, my fourth point would be that I can't remember what was the fourth point that I had that I was using to objectively look at the whole situation and thinking, Anthony Joshua, can he win this guy? So based on this, my analysis and my own points and how I was looking at it, I thought Anthony Joshua put up a very good fight. I wasn't expecting that he was going to win this guy based on what I was feeling. And the only thing was, the sad thing was that his team, I'm not sure he was really prepared for the worst. I think he has in his team, yes, you know, yes members, people who are just saying yes to him or telling him what he wants to hear and not what he needed to hear. And during the fight, I'm not sure he was getting enough, a, an effective feedback for him to be able to know how to adjust his strategy. So, for as leaders, based on this, I think you need to have a diverse. You need to have a diverse team members in your team. People who are going to say no to you it should be very relevant in your team, and people who are going to challenge your thoughts and ask you questions and make you uncomfortable, so that you can really focus on what you want to change or what you want to achieve. So that is where I think that the team didn't help Anthony Joshua that much. And personally, I think he trained very well. He prepared himself very well, but his mindset was not properly prepared, and he wasn't prepared for the to lose. His team should let him know that, so being a warrior, being a champion doesn't mean that you're going to win all the time. He needs to know that he can also lose. And from my point of view and the 4 points that I have, I'm not sure that they, really evaluated and analyzed those points very well with him, so that he will know where this guy's mindset was. So Anthony Joshua didn't see the resilience. I thought he was reserving his strength for the towards the end. And again, the coach should have known that the opponent, Usyk, is going to be very resilient. Given the situation, he is very resilient. So Anthony Joshua should have been either coming in to finish up rather than waiting. So anytime you have opportunity, use it that moment. Don't wait. Don't try to, because Anthony Joshua's own um, disposition, we have seen that he doesn't usually have that stamina to last that long and still be strong. So you could see him, limping his whole body on, lifeless body on using. I was, oh my God, I was praying that he doesn't knock Anthony Joshua on the floor, because he was really tired. You could see Anthony Joshua's strength was finished. When as they got to the 11th and 12th round. So that is where I think that the coach, they need to work on Anthony Joshua's mindset. They need to train him on resilience. They need to train his stamina, stretch him, to last longer, not to, he has to be quick. He has to have a plan to be quick and see if he can use the first few, at least first 1 to 6, 7 rounds to knock off his because stamina or resilience is not natural with him. He doesn't last that his energy doesn't last that long. So he really needs to train his mind to be to work towards knocking off. So that before he gets to when he gets tired, he would have done what he needed to do. So there was no need for him to be waiting because him waiting wasn't giving him much energy. He was still losing his energy. So next time, if this situation comes again, I will expect that Anthony Joshua, goes back to the drawing board. Of course, I trust him. He has faced difficult situations before, so this shouldn't be the last. And any good leader will not write Anthony Joshua off. Anybody who has seen, who has done something before in their lives, who has tried, who is trying, who has seen success, will know that success is not just a straightforward line. Is there are bumpy, so when the person is down, it's not when you knock that person. That is when you give them the much support that they need. But again, and I feel that Anthony Joshua is a good reflect. He reflects very well when each time, whether he loses or he wins, he goes back to reflect on the situation and comes back better. And I think that's why we've seen him as a better fighter all the time. Whether he loses or he wins, he always gives a better fight from what he has done before. So we have to give him that credit, and that makes him a warrior for me. And of course, as a fan, after being objective, I still believe that Anthony Joshua is going to come back. He's a warrior. He has done it before. He's done it several times. Even if he loses to everyone, as long as he's able to keep himself, keep his character, keep his sense of humility, keep his sense of and keep the hunger and don't in fact, I'm telling Anthony Joshua, you have to keep your head up first of all. And another thing is you have to review your team. Make sure you have somebody who tells you how it is, no matter how difficult it's going to be for you to hear those opinions. But you really need somebody who is there for you to win, who is not just there for the money that they will get from you. So Anthony Joshua, you need to review your team. You need to see who is doing what, who are needed here. You need to take that decision to really, restructure your team and know who you're working with. I don't think the team was helpful in that situation, especially for him to have reached the point of losing himself to, go that far of making that speech. So yeah, so for leaders, in this situation, what I would tell, whether you're a line manager, whether you're a team leader, whether you are a manager or whatever, there's a lot to learn from this boxing. Most times people say, they don't watch boxing, that, it just, there are sports, in fact, teaches so many things, that leadership, that are, that are there to learn from. So leaders need to learn that when there's a situation, or there's let's call it failure situation, it's not a time to knock yourself. It's not a time to knock your team. And it's not a time to start blaming anybody. It is the time to objectively reflect on the situation and know why, find out why that you had that outcome. And the focus of looking at that outcome is to find out a better way to either reshape, restructure, or reform that outcome to use the outcome to create the outcome you're looking for. If you get an outcome that you weren't looking for, that's not time to fire people. That's not time to to point fingers at anybody, or even yourself, or give up on yourself, or give up on your idea. That's the time to reflect and see how to reshape the team, and see how how the the outcome can be made to work for your own good. For example, now Anthony Joshua probably hasn't ever prepared for this kind of failure, because each time, we remember the last time he fought with the this guy, I can't remember his name now. He quickly bounced back. He came back and easily got the. So this is a very good lesson for him to go for the second time and find out that, see, this is real. This is not a dream. This is real. You've lost your belt and you've gone second time, you couldn't get it. So what next? So he has to now know that it's not just strength or boxing or quick boxing or whatever that he needs to do. He now needs to train himself on resilience and acceptance of something, an outcome, whatever outcome that comes. Like myself as a business owner and entrepreneur, oftentimes I go into any idea at all that I go into or I try to explore. What comes to my mind first is, I know this may not work, but I'm going to do my best to make it work. But if it doesn't work, that is not the end of life. So Anthony Joshua and his team, if they are serious now, they're not going to go back and know that this is not the end of time. This is not end of life for him. Even if he doesn't get the belt again, he should now fight, be in boxing because he loves to be in boxing. And that is what it should be all about first. This is what you love to do. And this is what, there's a part of what he was saying here where he said he started boxing at the age of 18. It doesn't matter when you started. The important thing is, why did you want to box? To be a boxer? Why did you want to go into boxing? Now, that's sense of purpose. What's the purpose? What's your reason? What is motivating you? Is it just belts? Yes, that's a reward, which is part of the motivation, but it shouldn't be the only motivation. The major motivation should be that you enjoy boxing. But if it's fame that is driving you, then there's a big problem there, because people are going to be knocking you left and right but you have to also know that anybody who is knocking you at this moment is not an achiever and is not a leader and is not somebody who has tried anything, worthy of looking at. Therefore, their opinion really doesn't matter. So that is it for me today. I have just given the account of this, looking at it from Gibbs' reflective model for leaders, so that leaders, as a leader, what can you learn from the outcome that you have had? On Anthony Joshua's own situation, you can see there are so many things for him to learn. There is so many things for him to action, to see, so that he can get a different outcome that will not completely, defeat him. Because the only time he will be defeated, or the only time he will fail, is when he gives up on himself and on his brand. He still has a brand to protect, whether he's in the ring or not. So he needs to protect his brand. He needs to he needs to create a message from this situation, this outcome he had. He needs to also create a message on it and use that message to recapture the minds and hearts of the people that are his fans, including myself. And of course, well, I've already, done some of the reflection for you, Anthony Joshua, and I wish you very well and hope to see you in the ring again very soon. Win or lose, AJ Boxing.